That's actually kind of funny. Like, do you think that quality beats quantity?
Yes and no. Like I started with the videos of like the tutorials.
Yeah.
And I felt like, okay, I want to make a lot of tutorials, different ones, and some were good, some were less good. But when I really look deep into them and I would remake them, I would do a lot different because of the quality.
Okay.
But in the end, like I pushed so much online, it gained me, I think, almost 50,000 followers in a span of 1.5 years, just based on those kind of videos.
Just the tutorial stuff?
Yeah, mostly tutorials. I had some highlights of clips of like my matches, but they were less good in general than the instructional videos.
Yeah.
And then I had 2 viral videos who were videotaped by like this Insta360 cam, like which was a loop of us peppering.
We just we just shot an intro for this event, and Frito has one of those 360 cams.
I talked with him yesterday. I got one on my room now, also with me, so I'm gonna test it out. Yeah, you got the real 360 like viral, like going all the way.
And then it connects to your phone.
Yeah, so I don't have that one. I have the one that you can put on your cap, on your chest, so that you can kind of have like this POV footage video.
It was nuts. I couldn't believe like Frito has just all new equipment.
Yeah, of course. But that's his job.
That is his job. It's also like I've been having this conversation with a lot of beach players. Do you think it's a beach volleyball player's job to also be a social media creator? Because you do. I think you do one of the best jobs of it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I see it as beach volleyball player, I'm an ambassador of my own sport. Yeah. So the more I can do for my sport, the more the sport will hopefully grow, and I can also benefit from it. So in terms of that, I'm saying yes, but to create content, not necessarily. I feel like everybody can contribute and what they feel like doing to contribute. Yeah. But
so you view it as just like, this is my contribution to the sport, aside from being
but I also enjoy it. For example, I play with Yorick, who is less active on social media. Right. But as soon as he's talking about volleyball, you can hear how passionate he is, how much he knows about tactics, the gameplay. He's like playing the chess game in his mind always, and I'm not doing that. I'm just seeing like the entertainment picture of the sport. So we think totally the opposite of the sport, but yeah, everybody's doing their own way, I think, in that. Yeah. And we have a few guys who are active on social media. We have the Beach Volley Vikings who are doing a great job. Yeah. Well, the Swedish guys with their jump sets, but then we have Adrielsson in the jumper in Brazil, for example, who's like gaining a lot of followers. I'm talking about the men's side only because I follow them a bit more. Samoilovs, who actually started to motivate me. He was like the first
one of the best. Yeah.
Still think is in terms of some ideas and some stuff that he's explaining and doing, but having less and less time because of his job. Yeah. So I saw his videos and I was like, yeah, maybe I'm gonna do stuff like that. And I just started going, and now a lot of people coming up to me and they're like, hey, when are you gonna do a tutorial again? I'm like, I don't know, I kind of want to do it, but then if I do it, I want to make it super good with high quality and like everything right. Yeah. And at the moment, I'm just trying to focus to enjoy the game myself and develop my own level of sports that I don't feel enough free time to create those things. So,
what made you think of tutorials? Was it because I know Samoilovs was doing them? Yeah. Were you like, oh, that's a good idea, I'll try my hand at that?
Yeah. A little bit because others were doing it. It was easy to copy, so it's always like it's better to copy somebody else and make it good instead of having a new idea which is bad or not going that good. So that was one thing, but also because in our national team with our coaches we decided to not videotape our own trainings. We did it in the beginning and I was doing my camera here and there and then we had a pause and then I switched my cameras and they were like, Stefan, come on, stop it, we are training. Like, I feel like, but what we are doing is like so nice to share with people out there. Yeah. And it was holding them off a little bit, like off the focus of the practice. Yeah. Instead, for me, like after the practice, I was scrolling through my camera and thinking, oh, this is a good clip, I can do that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we came to the conclusion, okay, it's better for me not to videotape anything during the practice and just focus and everything I want to do.
The entertainment
I do it
later.
Exactly. So in my own time, and then making a tutorial, which is intensity-wise super easy to make because it's step by step, you don't have to do that much yourself, and all the highlight videos I can just take from my own matches, which is a different kind of aspect in videos, but that's why I did it the way that I did it that way. So I had my tutorials which are easily videographed with a tripod here, my camera, and then just make 6 or 7 different shots, and the highlights is just videos from my matches.
And I think it's important to have like a hobby. I think it's important, especially because like it's just, if you're just like competing and like that's it, I think it could be just a little bit stressful. When you have like a light outlet, like some people might be writing or reading or like making fun videos, I think it's an important part of just being a high performer, just like having something fun.
Yeah, and it is fun. And actually, I just said, like, I see a lot of guys doing it on social media, but for example, Anastasia Samoilova, who's also doing a great job. And sometimes I see her videos and I feel like, did she copy me? And then I make a new video and I was like, yeah, I copied her, kind of. So like I said, the last time the last few months I'm doing a little bit less in terms of that, but before that we actually talked to each other like, hey, maybe we should do something together, or I have this good idea on this and that, and I really enjoy watching what she's doing and how she's also promoting the sports. And there it runs a bit more in the family maybe then, but there are multiple athletes who are doing it. The Austrian guys, Timo Hammerberg, who is also wearing, and Tim Berger, who is also wearing the POV camera on his head. And yesterday or the day before, I think they made a video from here in Ostrava. So it's fun to see also the new guys who are coming up also doing those things. So I don't know if I was some inspiration or if Samoilovs was or the Beach Volley Vikings, but I think as soon as more people do it, also the new ones will follow, and it's just good for the sports.
And I think it's cool because anytime that you can show people your personality and who you are, that's how you get people to being like casual fans to like, boom, boom's my guy.
Yeah, but that's also the tricky part, I think, because I promote myself in a beach volleyball way. I'm Stefan Boermans Beach Volley. I don't share that much of my private life on purpose, because I feel like whatever I'm showing always has to do something with my beach volleyball. So my friends and family and those kind of things that I keep private. Sometimes I put on my stories, but I barely put that like on my feed because I feel like okay, this is my work. It's a
hobby,
tool.
Like social media is a tool for your profession.
Yeah, for my profession, exactly. So I use it in the way of okay, I'm sharing my beach volleyball passion and knowledge and whatever, and the personal life I more keep to myself and don't share that on social media. So I have that balance. Some players they do both. They do like the family stuff and the volleyball content, and everybody does their own thing. But I think that the best way is to combine kind of both, because then you have the real fan interaction of like knowing a person like in person, kind of what they do outside of volleyball, but also seeing what they do during a tournament. But for me, that's I like to keep it a little bit more on just the beach volley side.
And I think that's admirable, because like every time you bring like your family onto social media or whatever, you're like sacrificing a little bit of your privacy. Not that beach volleyball players you're going to be as famous as like an NBA player or like a soccer player or whatever, but you're given like a little slice of your life out there. I think it's good that you have those guardrails up.
Yeah. And for everybody it's different. So some people like it more than others, but for me, I kind of have this in my head and I want to keep it that way. And that works for me. But when I see, for example, Carol Solberg, seeing her family photos with her family, her brother or other family members on the beach in the Copacabana, and then a training video of some stuff, I feel like that's also a really nice way of promoting yourself and your sport. So everybody's doing it their own way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I always look at it like, if I'm not using social media as a tool, I gotta stop. Because if I'm just using it as entertainment, it's so easy to just get lost in the sauce and just scroll. I'm like, oh God, there goes 20 minutes of my life.
Yeah, but also the scrolling helps me sometimes a lot to come up with new ideas. Whether it's the type of music that I'm listening to, which is trending at the moment, or I see other sports with some viral funny things. I had one right after the Olympics when we had 4 more tournaments to go. I just lay down at my apartment on the balcony, and I put the tripod up and videotaped myself for 4 or 5 seconds, just kind of sitting there, laying down, and then hearing this bleep, bleep, bleep sound. And it was just for me thinking, when you're finally done with the Olympics and you have 4 more tournaments going up, and then putting the dates on the beats. It was a 4 or 5 second video. It got, I think within 2 weeks, it got 4.3 million views.
Whoa.
It was like a huge success rate. And
Holy
I was like,
cow.
I'm just sitting here. I literally made that video within 10 seconds. Quality wise, for me, it's super shit. I'm just laying there. I even got my glasses on, not even my contacts, not even my cap on. Just laying there because I was tired. I was more like funny, like I'm not done with the season yet. And 4.3 million. But maybe because the word Olympics is in there, maybe I was just because people recognize me from playing at the Olympics. I have no idea, but sometimes stupid videos can go the best.
They just pop off for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's funny. I still don't know how the algorithm works.
How was the Olympic experience for you?
Oh, amazing.
That venue looked unbelievable. There you are.
For the people at home. It was, I cannot say it was a childhood dream, because until I was 22, 23, I've never even thought of going at the Olympics or being a professional athlete. I kind of rolled into the development of my
late bloomer.
career. Yeah, I started volleyball when I was 18, 19.
Okay.
So I switched to beach volleyball when I was 23. So I got to the highest level in indoor volleyball. Yeah, I was a little late. I played when I was 22. I played on the highest level indoors in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And then I decided, okay, I actually want to go play beach volleyball, because the season prior to that, in the summer, I got my first bronze medal in a one-star in Turkey.
Okay.
And that was for me like, okay, I want to do this. So I partnered up with Dirk Boulay. I finished my indoor season, played with him, a few tournaments, got the gold medal in Montpellier. That was my first gold medal on the beach.
That's a tough one to win as like a raw indoor guy, because that's windy.
Yeah,
that's a windy beach.
Yeah. And we play Aye Gauthier back then together, and that was a nice final in Montpellier. We got the gold medal, and from there on it was okay. I want to do more and more. And then the national team came along, and they said, we want to put you with Yorick, and we want to put you guys for the run for the Paris Olympics.
Okay.
I was like, Paris Olympics? What? Me? I was like, okay, let's give it a try. Like, I want to see how far I can go.
Yeah.
And from that moment, it actually got more to reality. Hey, we're chasing something.
Yeah.
And when we actually really got with the other teams on a certain level, with Varnas van der Velde at the time, with Brouwer Mewsen, we noticed, okay, we can actually get there. And then the Gstaad win in 2021, that helped me to actually think, okay, we are maybe actually capable of going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
And that's when it started to become a dream goal. So I was 25 or 26 at that moment.
It happened quick.
Yeah, then it started. Yeah, and now 4 years later, I can say I'm an Olympian.
You got the tattoo to prove it.
Got the tattoo on. Like kind of unfortunately a 5th place, but on the other hand, we played 4 amazing matches up to the match against Germany, which in the end we lost. But those 4 matches before that, we got a 2-0 streak on every match. So it was amazing. The Eiffel Tower background. Yeah, like I literally have no regrets on whatsoever what I did prior, preparing myself up to the Olympics, during the Olympics itself, and afterwards I can only say I'm proud of whatever I and we have done to get there and to show what we did. And
that's so good to have, because I remember, do you watch the NBA at all or follow basketball?
I normally don't, but I was lately I watched the documentary on Netflix. The Olympic one? No, not the one, but about the NBA, about the starting 5.
Okay.
Starting 5.
Haven't seen that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a nice one though.
But like Anthony Edwards, playing for the Timberwolves, lost to the Pacers the other night, and he was like, I don't really regret how I played. Like, I don't regret the shots I took. I don't regret the preparation. It's just they didn't go in. And I think that there's a lot of peace with that as an athlete when you're like, you look back on your Paris experience, you're like, there's nothing I could have done different. Just you play Ehlers and Wickler 10 times, you might split 5 and 5.
Well, so far we are 9-1.
Oh,
I think. But with Ehlers Wickler, only the other teams we are pretty decent actually. But with Ehlers Wickler we had a bad run. But for example, the tournament last year here in Ostrava was the first time that we beat them in our career against them.
Really?
Against Ehlers Wickler, we beat Ehlers when he was with Flügen, and we beat Wickler when he was with Tola.
Yeah.
But them as a team we didn't beat until last year here.
Okay.
So prior to the Olympics, in the final tournament, we beat them. We were like, okay, finally, that curse of any team that we couldn't beat is over.
Yeah.
And then at the Olympics, we played them again, and then we lost. Yeah. And literally, I think there was 7 wins for them and 1 loss for and 1 win for us.
Okay.
In total, but it's crazy how things go like that. But the belief for us to start that match and knowing, hey, we beat them finally once, we can do it. Yeah. That actually helped a lot to even start that match against them then. No regrets whatsoever. Maybe here and there some tactical changes, but it's more you take that as an experience now and use it in the future. Yeah. Because I cannot change what is done. And when I look back at my house, my apartment, I have my medals and some prizes here and there. I feel like I'm pretty happy and confident with what I have so far. Like I really cannot complain. Like especially last year, the last 8 tournaments, I think we got to the top 4 almost every tournament we played. So
pretty good. Yeah, and that's hard to do because it's. I mean, you look at the qualifier today in Ostrava, and it's like there's a lot of really freaking good teams playing. Yeah, it's amazing. But in general, the level, the setup is different now that we only have one team, one qualification match. Yeah. So the teams that are playing that are going through straight away, and they know like, hey, this is a do or die match. Yeah. That makes it more interesting to watch, and then the level. If you see the tournaments in Mexico, we had the elites in Brazil now twice, and now this is the 4th one actually. Yeah. It's with a lot of teams actually really close.
Like the quality teams can push through, win some matches here and there, and
no problem.
The normal main draw teams, which you expect to win every time, they are not winning every match.
Yeah.
So it's fun for the development of beach volleyball, definitely.
It is, and it allows for teams like you and York. You flew up the rankings. I remember watching you guys. I think the first time was in Cancun.
Yeah.
First time I saw you play, and I think you beat Kame and Theo. And I was like, they lost to these no-name Dutch guys, and then you guys just exploded.
Yeah. Well, that was a 3-week tournament.
Yeah.
The first week we lost the first match straight away in the qualifiers to Switzerland's Kate Gebrier at that time. So we're like, are we going to stay here for 2 more weeks? Because we lost the first qualifier. Right. Like, what are we doing here? And then the second week, sorry, but I'm not sure if we beat Italy first, Kotafava, Windisch. I think that was the second week. And then Liami Miskiv to get into the main draw. And then straight away, we had to play the Russian. Yeah, and then the Russians, Kasilnikov, Stoyanovsky, first match in the main draw. So we're like, we qualified for the main draw, the world champs. And we beat them 2-1.
Man, that's a good win.
And from there we got a 5th place, and I remember in that second tournament, and at the second tournament for us, the main draw in Cancun, so which actually was the 3rd week.
Yeah.
We played the quarterfinal against Phil and Nick, Lucena Dalla.
Okay. Yeah.
And I remember warming up, and I'd never seen Phil before those tournaments in real life, and he came up to me, "Hey, I'm Phil, nice to meet you." And I was kind of flabbergasted, like, is he like kind of joking and saying, "Hey, I am Phil, what are you doing here?" Or was he genuine and like, "Hey, nice to meet you, cool to play you." And to the day now, I still don't know, but I've watched him a lot on the videos, and I hear everybody he's like a real good guy.
That's
so
real Phil.
I now know, okay, it was just, "Hey, nice to meet you, I'm Phil, and I want to know what your name is." But then when we walked up the court, the other guys, Trevor Crabb and I don't know who was playing. Was he playing with Try?
Yeah.
They came up to me because it was still in the Olympic run, and he was telling me, "Yeah, play this on Nick," and he always does that in situation. I was like, "Why are you spilling kind of secret or anything?" So we sat down in our bench. They were done, and was like, "Yeah, on Nick you play this, and on Phil, yeah, just go try to block him," something like that. And I was like, "Wait, what did he just say?" Like, that was weird. Funny. And that was also when I found out what the competition in America, like amongst the teams, is much more different than the Dutchies, at least.
Yeah.
Especially in the Olympic run. So yeah, from there the Cancun, it all started in terms of getting to know the big guys, the big names, being a part of them. And
you're a big name now.
Yeah, I'm a big name now. It's 4 or 5 years later now, but yeah, like I said, I'm really happy with the run so far.
Yeah, man, you picked it up late and you got good fast, and then you got with Yorick fast, and you guys got good fast. What helped you pick it up so quickly? Obviously, you played at a high level indoor, but I've seen so many high level indoor players try beach and they just can't hang. It's just a different sport.
Yeah, for me from the beginning straight away it was the entertainment part, but also the part that you have to do everything by just the two of you. You are alone on that court, you have to fix your own problems, there's no coaching, no substitutes. So if you do good, you get rewarded. If you don't do good, you don't have a second chance. Like next time you got to do better. And that way of developing ourselves was for me and still is the key to play beach volleyball. I enjoy having a guy like Yorick besides me, but in the past I had different partners who were also a bit more leading in terms of tactics in the game, and I was more like the hype guy.
Yeah. Everyone needs a hype guy.
Yeah, well, I like to do it. I like to be. Like I said, I'm an ambassador of my own sports. But the people that come and watch to our matches, I feel like I want to give them something. They're coming for a show, and I can provide that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got to do my job, but I also got to do more than just play volleyball. Like, there are people here who are watching us, who are enjoying. The people back at home, why not give back? Yeah. Like, I'm in that opportunity, so why not do it? And I'm a type of guy that can do it, so I'm doing it. And yeah, those things combined, playing, like I said, the first time in the gold medal match in Montpellier 2019, winning that gold. I think there were 300-400 people sitting around. For me, that was more than enough to say, okay, I want to do this every week. Every week I want to go somewhere, no matter where it is, play tournaments, enjoy the people, give our best shots in playing volleyball. Yeah. And that also motivated me to just go in there every day, train, try to get better, try to work on my physical part, try to work on the ball control, communication with my partner, and take that step by step. And when a national team came along, it just developed more and more, because they also provided for the financial part. Yeah. They are providing the flight tickets and hotel costs, so I don't have costs on beach volleyball in that way. Yeah. So that's a huge relief. Yeah, that's like one of the biggest things that you struggle with mostly as an athlete. which the Dutch national team is doing really good for us. So yeah, all those things with my own motivation, with the whole setup, with the partner that I have, like it's been going good.
No kidding.
It costs a lot of time and energy, but it's not a bad way of investing. It's like you can say like, yeah, I don't have time to see friends and family that much. On the other hand, like I'm on the biggest level playing volleyball with the best athletes in the world, and I can say that I'm part of one of them now.
Yeah.
That's,
and one of the
that's
strongest
incredible.
federations. Like
Definitely. Yeah.
Dutch Federation runs deep.
Yeah, and we got new talent coming up, like 18, 19 years old now. 2 lefties actually in the program also.
Really?
So that's also
we love a lefty-lefty combo.
Yeah, so they are coming up. Actually, unfortunately, there are a few injuries now, but the plan was to be here with 4 teams, I think, at the men's side.
4 men's teams?
Yeah.
Wow,
so
that's a lot for
we
you
have
guys.
Also Yorick de Groot, then we have Van de Velde, Brouwer, then we have Immers and Penninga now, and then we have Luini and Verberne. And then we have a 5th team.
Who's Leon playing with?
Yannick Verberne, 207 centimeters tall lefty.
Damn.
He unfortunately broke his finger, so he's out for a little bit, but he'll be back at the end of the summer definitely.
Okay.
Super tall. And then we got 2 young guys, Tom Sonneville, actually the brother of Noah Sonneville, who played today, and Quinten Groenewold, who are now also forming a team and doing super good in futures. But honestly, I think with the level that they are showing in practice, if they can put that into effort in not futures, but I think actually qualifying challenges, maybe leading up to the main draw also later on, I think they can also.
I don't think anyone wants to see a Dutch flag next to people's names in the qualifier. It's like they're going to be big and they're going to hit really hard.
Yes, with the most teams, that's the game plan. Not spilling too much secrets, but that's a big tactic.
I think Alex and Robbie kind of ruined all those secrets. It's like, all right, they're going to serve really hard and they're going to hit really hard.
But what these guys built in the past, what is it, 12 years now, since 2013, they become world champs. Well, with Reiner Nummerdor in the program and now as a coach. What has been built in those past 10 to 12 years, or maybe a little bit before that when they started, it's incredible. The funding that we have, the facility that we have, the amount of people that are playing beach volleyball on this level, like it's all kind of based on what they provided, what they did, leading up to that the new guys who are now not necessarily taking over because Alex is still, Brouwer is still playing, but what we can show and what we can do is kind of thanks to what they did in the past. So that's also a huge compliment to their efforts back then.
Yeah, I feel like Nummerdor and Schulz sort of paved the way, and then Alex and Robbie kind of kept that going, and now it's just exploded.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it was Alex and Robbie, was there like a twos team really? Like Varenhorst?
Varenhorst took over with Nummerdor back then. Yeah, before that it was Nummerdor with Schuil. They were only like bump setting and high sets, but it's fun fact because Nummerdor, he's our coach now. Obviously, like
seeing him, I'm like, man, that's a legend.
Yeah, he's still there. He had 7 Olympics, which of 5.
7?
Yeah, 5 as a player and 2 as a coach now.
Oh my gosh.
So he's high in experience, let's say like that. And Richard Schuil, his former partner, he is now actually helping me out with my finances.
Oh,
so
cool.
he's doing something totally different apart from volleyball. But like every 2-3 weeks we call or he texts. And he's helping me out with the financial stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we are still kind of connected that way, and but what they paved back then, and then like you said, Robbie and Alex kind of took over with the World Champ win in 2013, getting the bronze medal at the Olympics, which was the first and only beach volleyball medal so far for the Netherlands. They paved the way with everything that we got, and Yorick and I and also the other teams were just trying to maintain what has been built and hoping to develop even further.
Yeah, and then the women's side is popping off. I mean, I have to play them 5 times a year at Texas. Texas is like the University of the Netherlands now.
you got two young girls. They're
because they got Sonneville and Brecht Piersma. I think Brecht is so good. Yeah, and then they got a bunch of others coming in too.
I was really excited for this is not a live podcast, of course, but they played for us this morning against the other Dutchies. So I was really hoping for actually a little bit a closer match because also the former partners Mila Koning, who now plays with Reisa, used to play with Sonneville, with Noah. So they were now kind of facing against each other, not being both in the national team anymore. With this whole setup, and then we have Amy and Weiss, who got a 4th place in the previous, and now unfortunately losing to Ukraine in the qualifiers.
It's crazy how deep the World Tour is. Where because Amy and Weiss almost losing the qualifier in Brasilia. You go to 3, and then they go, and then they take amateur shouldn't do to 3 in the bronze medal match.
Yeah, it's
nuts.
It's incredible. Yeah,
and then they
played good, and now here they're losing the qualifier again. So yeah, that's the sport of volleyball. It's crazy. You never know what to do. In the Netherlands, we have a thing that if you make a top 4 result in one Dutch tour stop, then the next Dutch tour stop you have like this starting ticket definitely for the main draw. You don't have to play a qualifier. So let's say you make a top 4 result, then you're guaranteed, even though you have less points, you start in the main draw again. They don't have it on the World Tour, at least not since I play volleyball. But I think that would actually also be a fun thing to maybe add in the future, that if a team comes from the qualifier, they make a top 4, like in Saquarema, Renato and Pedro did. We played them for the bronze medal match, that they would have a main draw ticket for the Brasilia tournament.
I like that concept a lot.
The idea, because then you get rewarded a little bit more. And mostly the top 4 teams are teams from the main draw, but that 1 or 2 or 3 exceptions that you have once in a while, they should actually, I think, get rewarded instead of now playing a qualifier, unfortunately losing. It's, in the end, of course, it's their own fault if you lose, kind of. But they got a 4th place. They were in the top 4, like literally the last tournament. And now they're out. So that's also for people who are watching and don't follow that closely. It's like, wait, they just got a top 4 and now they lose in the qualifier? Why aren't they in the qualifier? They just got a top 4. And I think it would make more sense if you give those teams who are not normally in the main draw but make a top 4, get an automatic spot in the next tournament. My perfect world of beach volleyball is, like, say we go to Ostrava. You have a challenge event first, and everyone who made the semis, that's your, like, the challenge is the qualifier to the elite. So if you make the semis or if you make the quarterfinals, those are your 8 qualifiers into the next week's Elite 16. I think that'd be a cool system. Obviously, it's really tough because then you got the city you need for 2 weeks. You need a lot of courts, and so I don't think it'll ever happen, but I wish it could happen. But it's something like that. It's in America, right? With the not the contender series, but there's kind of a setup, right?
So
already.
The way it used to be, I don't know if that's the way it is this year because there's only one more. It's just Manhattan now is the only other AVP. But before it was, if you made the semis of the contender, that puts you into the main draw of Manhattan, which is really cool. And I think that that's a great system, and kind of what you're talking about.
It's nice because you really get rewarded if you put in good effort, and you can kind of, it sounds weird, but play with the big guys, of course, if you make it good. But if you do good, you should also be rewarded and kind of stay there or get another shot instead of we have to qualify again. And of course, and sometimes it's that case. Mostly it's that case, but just thinking of a different kind of format or setup with an extra reward.
And it puts a lot of high stakes on those. Like for us in like Virginia Beach, for example, I was playing with my buddy JD. He'd never made a main draw of like a bigger event. And our quarterfinal match might as well have been the finals because we knew if we won that, he'd make his first main draw. And we won, and it was like, tournament was over.
Crazy.
He did what he came to do, and it was great. But then, like, say we do this challenge system, if you make the quarters, those 9th place matches be intense, because that's like not only you're extending your challenge, but you're guaranteeing your spot in the elite.
That's amazing.
And
is there some financial extra security next to it? Like if you make a top 4, you get an extra bonus or reward or sponsor
Well, you just
stuff?
like when you start in the main draw, then you know that you're getting that money too. Which is sweet.
That helps out a lot too.
It does. It's funny. Like we went out to dinner with Deanna Kraft last night and Zolani, and it's like it's making main draws so big because then you get your hotel for a couple more nights, and you're like, yes.
They just qualified this morning, right? By accident we stepped in the same elevator and they were like, what button should we press? And I was like, you just checked in. Yeah, we want to call. Of course you play. Congrats. And I was totally not thinking. I was like, you just come from, oh wait, of course, the qualifiers. It's also weird that I'm kind of living in my own world knowing I have to kind of play tomorrow. Whereas other teams are battling their
like some people were playing 2 matches today before the guys play 1. It's different system.
Weird. It's weird. But we are. The FFB is trying to develop the sports with new rules and new stuff and changes in the format. And I like that they listen to the athletes in terms of we want to change the format a little bit. We want to have more teams competing. Now we're at the system where we think, okay, this is tough because we have a weird round in between. How we're gonna fix this? And now we have some new stuff going on for the Gestart tournament in terms of coaching and the hand setting rules. So,
what do you think of the coaching? I'm curious.
Personally, I would say keep it without, like as we have it now, because I think that's the beauty of the sport. That's also why I started playing, because I felt like I have to do everything on my own with my partner, obviously. But I think the coach's job, he's doing a good job as soon as he gets us prepared before the match and we are able to do everything in the match ourselves. And also the way of learning. If a coach on side tells me what to do in that moment or in the match, then they are giving me the feedback. It's like riding a bike. If somebody's holding your hand riding a bike, yeah, it's easy to go along. But if they let your hand loose, you fall down.
Yeah.
Or are you gonna try and ride that bike yourself? Of course, I'm a Dutchie, that's why I use a bike as an example. But but I hope you get what I'm saying. Like I think the coach's part, it's super important. But during the match, that's why I like beach volleyball that much. Go without a coach.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna see what is going on with all the teams, because not all the teams have a coach with them on the tour. So some teams will have the benefit of having a coach now with them in their box, in their seats, and some teams will not have it. So I'm really curious how that's gonna look like, but also what are the benefits gonna be for the teams who are using a coach.
Yeah.
Some teams might still say, hey, we still want to play without a coach, even though it's possible that we have one. So it's a new development. We have to see. They want to see it as a test event, try it as a test event. So
They're testing that in Gstaad?
Gstaad, and if I remember correctly, also in Canada, in the Montreal and the Hamburg tournament, the 3 elites.
Okay.
And if it's successful, they want to continue it until the World Champs.
Yeah.
And if not,
and then
I don't know who is gonna exactly decide it, but a few weeks ago we had a meeting with some from the FFB, with Yu Chao, for example, and some athletes, and we were talking about these concerns, also about the hand setting doubles. Who is deciding, when it's deciding, when do we know what the exact rule changes will be? Like, do we have a tutorial on people demonstrating what the good rules are or not? Like, where are the limits? Because those are big changes for sports. Yeah. Especially with the coaching.
What do you think of the no doubles?
I put 9 years in daily investment of getting the technique the way that I have it. I'm very proud of how I can hand set, because there are barely any doubles and barely any lifts, in my opinion. And now hearing, the double set is kind of like, you can set however you want. Yeah. I feel like, why did I put so much time and effort if we're just gonna split the rule? Of course, in the end, they want to develop it in the future for the sports. But then I feel like, then basically even any middle from an indoor could be tall enough and just kind of push that ball up. I feel like it's taking the beauty out of the sport. Yeah. If you see guys like Losiak, my former partner, Dirk Boulet, I can name like 20 more people who have a real nice hand setting, which I think is perfect for beach volleyball. If you take that part out of the sports, you can still do it, of course, but people who have less good of a technique can just hand set the way they want. Slap it. The jump sets are just gonna be quick shoots, in my opinion, I think. So the beauty of the sport is like disappearing a bit, and you're gonna probably get a faster gameplay. But what's the benefit for the people watching at home or the players themselves?
That's
I don't know.
What I was
we have to experience.
Because I get the thinking behind adding coaches. It might increase the level of the play, because they can see stuff that when you're playing, you got a ton of adrenaline, you might not be able to notice. Mm-hmm. It might increase the level of play, maybe not. Every other sport has coaches, but doubles, I'm like, I don't know what the benefit would be of taking them away. Yeah,
one of the reasons that I heard, and we asked, so I can openly discuss it and can go online, was that currently people watching who are not that familiar with the sport sometimes see that a play is interrupted or stopped by the referee by an opinion on a double set or a hand set, so they want to eliminate that, so it's easier for the spectators to just follow the rules, and they don't have these stops because it's a technical error. Oh, and then you have to explain, why, what's wrong? Like, if you have the same thing as indoor and you can just set it, you eliminate that whole aspect. Yeah. But then our kind of feedback was, but how many times per match, literally per match, does it happen that a double is going to be taken out? Yeah. Is it actually already once a match or even more? Or is it less than once, like on average? Right. So I think you should also look into the statistics, like, is it actually that big of a deal that sometimes it's a double and they get called for a double compared to all the other sets? Yeah. Personally, I don't think either.
I would say maybe 1.5 a match. Maybe.
If already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember a lot of games that I've played and there was not a single double call whatsoever. So I feel like as soon as you are trained that good and you can hand set, or like some people do, just go for the bump set, which is Alisson. Yeah. Great. Our coach is Reiner, always the bump set. If that's your way of playing, Christian Sørum, bump setting. If that's your way, then that's also part of beach volleyball. Right. But why eliminate a rule to try to develop? Yeah, for me it feels a bit weird, but also because it's kind of personally for me, like I invested so much time. You made it a skill. Just kind of, I made it a skill, I'm happy that how Yorick and I can play, how we can like cover, handset, quick plays, how we play. And that's that benefit of us training so hard to get somewhere. And I think a lot of other teams will also have it in their ways. is going to be kind of eliminated now. So from our gameplay then.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping that one gets shot down.
I honestly I hope that both will get shot down.
Yeah.
But,
from the reaction of the players, I don't think I think the doubles will remain a thing.
Yeah.
Because everyone seems pretty defensive about that one. Coaching, I feel like, is kind of a 50-50 split.
Yeah, but that's also a personal choice. Like some people really want to have coaches. Some coaches really want to contribute more than they do now from the sideline. So from the coaching perspective, I can also think, okay, you want to be more involved in the game like an indoor coach, but then I feel like where's the limit? If you say, okay, now we can have a coach who is like behind the seats and you can only talk during the timeouts.
Yeah.
Then we have the switching sides. You have to walk every time you have to go with the teams. Where's the limit? If we're going to allow this now, or say, okay, this is going to be it, then next year, maybe the question is, okay, why don't we put the coaches on the court? Because they're there anyway. We can see them in the timeouts. So why not have them talk during the gameplay?
Yeah.
Then we're going to have an active coach. So for me, I'm more like, okay, if we're kind of changing the rules and the gameplay and the coaching now, like where's the limit if we're going to push for more and push for more and push for more? That's my thing.
Yeah, the way that NCAA does it right now is you can talk to your players in timeouts and on side switches. And it's so funny though, because like the players, like a lot of our younger players, when they're in new matches, and we had a ton of young players on our team, they would look over to me like every point. They're like, where do I serve? I'm like, I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
Just hit your best serve.
Yeah, but I think as soon as you get used to somebody telling you what to do, then also your development will stop a little bit, or will slow down at least.
Yeah.
I think as soon as somebody is gonna help you, advise you, or put you in a position like, hey, I want you to do this and do that, and if it's not succeeding, then you have to switch something. Do you listen to the person who told you that to do something, or are you gonna try and figure out yourself what you actually have to change to get it done? And it's like you always say, the best way to learn is to fail.
Yeah.
You have to fail to learn, to succeed. But if somebody's already telling you, hey, serve here, serve there, serve short on him, because I saw that the short serve, he's only playing shots. If you don't see it yourself or my partner, but my coach is telling me, like it's the coach's point, which is part of the team.
Yeah.
But I would appreciate it more if I find out after 3 or 4 or 5 short serves that is happening, instead of after the first straight away, now he's only playing shots. Like, let me figure it out.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I also have to say we have to experience how it will be. We have to experience also the level of volleyball or the points difference. Maybe some things are totally going to change.
Yeah.
So we'll see in Gstaad. It's a test event.
Yeah.
And there will be a lot of teams who will probably like it, and especially coaches who are more involved.
Yeah.
But I think there will also be a lot of coaches who will say, just because of the fact that they think my athletes are ready to play without me, that they are not going to coach or help out.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's up to them. It's an option. Volleyball world is trying to improve. I'm always happy to improve things. I just personally don't know if these are the right things to change and improve, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I respect that mindset that you want to figure it out on your own, because that was my favorite part as a player, and I think that's why I like coaching so much, is the little chess match. It's like, oh, well, when she is here and the ball gets set here, this is likely what she's going to do. I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's the fun part.
But also the thing, like if you're making a puzzle and you have like numbers on the back and you know where to put them, or you have a puzzle and you have no idea, but you finish it by yourself because you are creative and you see where the solutions are. It's like the same. If you complete a puzzle without help or you knowing by yourself, it takes longer, of course.
Yep.
But you got it done by yourself.
It's so much sweeter when you got it done. Yeah.
I think so. So and with sports the same. Like if I beat an opponent based on own strategy or own gameplay or tactics, instead of somebody else telling me what to do during the match at least, because before, of course, the most teams make a tactic before. I feel like it's the beauty, but also it's a strength of our team. So that's also something why I say it's personally for me and Yorick. I don't think we would need that much coaching. Of course, it can help in certain points, or maybe keep our heads a little bit calmer. But we'll have to see. We're also going to try it to see if it's successul for us.
I was going to ask, how does coaching work in the Netherlands? Because you got Numerdor. How many coaches are there for how many teams?
We got 3 coaches for the 5 men's teams actually, and then we got a talent coach who's like shifting between the talent group and the youngest guys with us.
Got it.
But we got Michiel van der Kuip. He's like more the head coach, but also having another function within the national team to provide kind of everything for all the coaches.
Yeah.
Then we have Reiner Numerdor, who is the head coach mostly on the tournaments, with the elite tournaments, and then Frank van der Autonomy, who used to be the coach from Katja and Raisa, who now switched to the girls this winter. And he's actually then the third coach, so they are completing it and they are shifting every other tournament or every 2 tournaments. They are kind of shuffling around.
Yeah.
So when we are here now with 1 team or 2 teams only, there's 1 coach. As soon as we are 2 or more teams, then they provide 2 coaches on tour, and then per tournament we just decide, okay, this is your team, that's your team, or how are we gonna do it?
Yeah.
But what we also said, we never coach against each other. So when we play another Dutch team, the coaches just listen to our input, but they are not giving any feedback on how to play Brouwer and Van der Velde.
Okay.
They're like, what are your plans? Okay, well, good luck. But they're not gonna say, today I would serve Steven or Alex more.
Yeah.
They're not gonna say anything about that.
Interesting.
So that's the only thing.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, let's say I have an injury and they know about it, but the other team doesn't, and they tell them, like, Stefan is injured, like, play on him.
Right.
That's not beneficial for us, but more for them.
Yeah.
And the other way around. So no coaching at all with Dutch teams, but international, like everybody else, they are coaching one-on-one, and yeah.
Do you guys always train against each other, or are you able to mix it up? Because I know, like, you talked about the U.S. Like, it was funny to you that, like, Tri and Trevor were like, hey, this is like Nick doesn't like this. This is what you do on Phil. This is what you do on Nick in that situation.
Yeah.
What's the vibe like with the Dutch Federation? Like, are you guys all like kind of a rising tide, like all rooting for each other a little bit?
To be honest, not rooting for each other.
Yeah.
But we are definitely helping each other out in terms of gameplay, training, putting time and investment. Because the weight sessions, the ball sessions, like everything. So that's two times 1.5 hours a day. We train together in the same facility, same group. We train against each other. So when the coaches are telling them to do something, we also hear that on court, obviously, and the other way around. Sometimes we have our own talks, but mostly we are part with the group, and then we switch the teams. So we have 4 or 5 teams which we train with daily. Mostly lately we've been training with Alex and Steven because of the level based on the elite tournaments. But that's actually our training group, let's say like that. And they try to coach everybody on the same intensity and the level. And then I have my own things that I want to develop, and then some others have their preferences, but they try to like split it up equally between everybody.
Yeah.
And then if we're kind of going to a tournament or prior to a tournament or there are injuries, then we try to see if we have any countries close by who we can train with for a training camp. So last week we had Norway and Poland visiting us. So we had Briolosiak.
Fun training camp.
Yeah,
that's high level.
Yeah, we had Mol Surum and Mol Berntsen with us. So we had 3 teams of world class.
Sweet.
Yeah, and now we got something planned for the week prior to Gstaad. We're also going to a training camp, but then visit them. So we.
Oh, you're going up to Oslo?
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, location, I don't know, but Norway. I saw in my notification we're going. Yeah, exactly. where they are, somewhere up north, where it's cold. Yeah. So no, we're gonna try and prepare as good as we can for the Gstaad tournament then. But yeah, it's nice to have other teams around and try to see if we can work together to get to the highest level. And of course, the higher the level in the training is, the higher the level will be on the court. So kind of combining forces, train together and train with different type of gameplays is also really interesting for our own development. So
yeah, and your federation's cool with you going out to Norway before Stad. Like, do you have to?
They are actually providing
permission?
us the coach. The coach is going with us. So it was a coach's idea. They're like, hey, we want you to do this because the other teams are whether playing a challenger or still injured, like I said. So we don't have the training capacity at the moment at home. So if you guys want and are able, good to go, then we are going to do this, and then it was settled and done. So now I know, okay, prior to Gstaad, we're gonna do a little training camp with them. So, yeah,
man, it's crazy to think about. Like 2019, you're playing a futures with Dirk, who I love. Dirk, I think he's one of the most skilled volleyball players. Like his ball control is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
I played, and I feel like he's like the talent developer in the Netherlands.
He is.
Like everyone who's gotten all the blockers who've gotten really good have started with Dirk.
We are joking a little bit that he's like kind of the talent scout for the Dutch national team. It's like he played with Steven van der Velde, kind of helped him go into where he is now. He played with Mart van Werkhoven the year after he played with me. So he got 3 blockers who used to play at European Championship level and Elite 16 level. But the way that he is kind of making his partner a better player, that also helped me out to see, hey, I want to be the hype guy because I don't have the technical abilities to like really push on tour or whatever. And he knows what he's capable of, like how he can play. Like I said, his hand setting, his defensive skills. So he's an amazing guy to have in your team, literally have your back as a blocker and to play with. And I learned so much from him back then. And I think every month at least. Once we have a little chat, whether on training camps or doing stuff and development. He's doing a lot of other stuff now, being more as a coach and helping coaches to also be beach volleyball coaches. So he's still active in the sports, and that's
I bet he'd be a great coach.
Yeah,
just with how skilled he was.
Yeah, crazy. But he's been doing that for many years. Yeah. But yeah, his own level back in 2019. But he played the Dutch Tour 2 weekends ago, and he got the bronze medal with Tom Zonneveld, the young guy who I just said.
Yeah.
Like the youngest guy in our national group. He played with them. With him, and yeah, they got the bronze medal, where Steven, Alex, and Yorick and I were on the top of the podium. They were bronze, just straight behind. So it's like, without actually being in a national team, training daily, he's still capable to get there. So it's
man, I remember playing him in Mart. I forget what tournament, but I jousted with Dirk, and he pushed just enough so that it would come down controlled, and he just hand set and Dirk. Shot it right to Mart, and Mart just like boom.
I hate these guys. I hate these guys. It's lovely to have on your team, but to play again, I also remember playing him in Hamburg. I think it was with Matthew, and also I was like, somehow I want to play Dirk, but I know he's going to push everything in my block, cover it, play on two. I'd just rather serve Mart and just go for a high set and try to block instead of playing Dirk, who has his side out is less good, but he just knows how to tool with the block and put everything, putting his disadvantage in his advantage. So I learned that playing with him. That's why I also know, like, playing against him, like, I don't like, because the rallies will be longer. He will be smart. Like, he's not making that much mistakes. He will not score the ball at once most of the time, but he knows how to, like you said,
not going to score for
cover.
You.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to put his partner in the position to use the best of their team. And yeah, that's amazing. But yeah, like you said, in 2019 we started that season, and then when COVID broke in 2020, the national team asked me to go with Yorick, and since then I've continued developing with Yorick. Yeah.
And you guys wasted no time. Like you had that main draw win over Oleg and Krasilnikov, which was one world champs. That was huge. Yeah. And then you won Stade that year too?
Yeah, and Gstaad was actually also the first time that we got into the main draw straight away without playing the qualies. Yeah. So we had the Ostrava tournament before, I think an Espino tournament qualification before, and the 3 weeks in Cancun. Those were like qualifications. And, and then we started Gstaad in the main draw. We won, I think, the pool, and then we got a day off, I remember, on the super rainy day. Yeah. We were chilling in the hotel, in the pool, actually.
And everyone else
looking outside, it's raining, and live stream. And we were like, oh, these guys got to play in the rain. And then we end up winning the tournament. It was incredible.
Did you beat Sharif and Ahmed?
In the final,
is that the final?
Twice, actually, that tournament. I think pool play, we beat them.
2 good wins.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat that team twice.
Yeah, like lately, the last year. I think in the previous year, we played them 4 times now. We lost all 4 to them. We had a good run, like a 5-0 run, and now we're like 5-5 again, something like that.
Man, those guys, when they're on, I commentated a couple of their matches in China, and when they're on, I'm like, I don't know how they ever lose. Sharif was siding out at 1.92% for the tournament. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah. They are so good athletes. They are perfect for beach volleyball. The way they jump, they're crafty with the ball. Sharif with his lefty super high, Ahmed with a good swing, and this upper hand defense. Yep. It's an incredible team to see, but also to play against. And somehow, everywhere they go, they always have the crowd in their favor.
Always.
Everywhere.
Always.
How they do it, with their smiles or with their actions, I don't know. I do my best to like hype them up a little bit. Yeah. And they're just naturally, like Cuba, they're just loved by the audience.
Cuba and everywhere they go.
Yeah, everywhere it's just, they love them. And
I just remember in Brazil, man, it might have been Rio, where, you know, in Brazil they do that la da 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 da, and then they ended with Brazil. Yeah. And when they said Qatar, I was like, no. Like, how did they do that? They got the whole crowd to start cheering Qatar for the Brazilian little sing-song cheer. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Talking about Brazil, we played the final against home team favorites Evandro and Arthur. Yeah. It's crazy. They were, for the first time, I felt like they were not cheering against us. They were cheering for Brazil, and they liked us being there. And after the tournament, they were still kind of cheering also for us. Yeah. But during the match, they were not whistling against us whatsoever. They were super nice and friendly and just loving the sports and the game. And the level was high too, so that also helped, of course.
It was a great final.
It was an amazing match, and the atmosphere, it was really nice, and it was a close one. Yeah. Like up in 18-16, I think, in the third. Yeah.
Best atmosphere in the sport. If you had like Brazil, their fans are wild, and I think they're like true sporting fans. Where like if you're not for Brazil, a lot of times it's like Anders got booed in João Pessoa. I think it's like, damn, you're booing Anders.
Oh wow. Wow.
But you got Brazil, whose fans are crazy. I think like in Ostrava qualifier day, you already got fans out here.
There were a lot of people sitting here.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, fans are great.
Personally, I have the best experience in terms of fans and atmosphere in Vienna. based on the silver at the European Championships.
Okay.
That was an amazing result for us, but also for the people there, the vibes, the German talking, which is easy for me also. The Gstaad I like a lot, but it's a little different atmosphere than the skyboxes which we had at the Europeans back then. So that's why I kind of have this little love for Vienna. But then Brazil, they really love beach volleyball.
Yes,
they really love their country. They're proud of their country, which is also really nice to see and good for the sports. And then Mexico, actually, the World Champs, which was back in Tlaxcala, which is weird because Mexico has these tournaments that they are super filled up and crazy for volleyball.
Yes.
And we have these tournaments in Rosarito where there were like 20 people sitting at the court in the main round, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But then we also had like tournaments like the Tepic, the indoor one, like fully with people, the Tlaxcala, the city center.
Tlaxcala is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're just different vibes. But I would definitely say that those, so like Vienna, Gstaad, Brazil, kind of anywhere Brazil in the meanwhile, and the Tlaxcala definitely from Mexico were the best in terms of fans, atmosphere, and just hyping up. And
yeah.
I kind of miss this.
The Netherlands to have a big event again?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's a secret or not. I think it's online somewhere, so I can say it. They are trying to get the bid for the World Champs in 2027.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I don't know if they will get it or if it's already been notified who will get it, but I know that they asked to host it because we had the 2015 World Champs back in the Netherlands, which was in The Hague.
I still think that final is the best beach volleyball match ever.
Alisson Bruno Schmidt against Warnhorst Nummerdor, which was crazy. Actually, the king, who is now the king, was back at the time. He was the prince of the Netherlands. He's now the king. Was watching with his wife at that time, which was a huge thing. They were sitting in the middle of the stands between the director and just like normal people. Yeah. Just like your neighbor. Come, let's go to a match. They were just sitting there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but now they want to try to see if we can get it done in 2027. Back again. We have the VNL this year for them. I don't know where.
Somewhere.
Probably in 2 or 3 cities because we have Apeldoorn, Arnhem, Rotterdam, Utrecht, Den Haag. Like we have a lot of cities who do good in organizing these tournaments. But in the indoor volleyball, also every 2 or every 4 other years we have indoor events. So the women are now playing in July, the VNL, the Volleyball Nations League. Yeah. So that's also an event which is in the Netherlands. So I think they really do a good sports in terms of providing once every so many years the championships. European Championships 2018. We had at the Zuider Park actually where we train. I totally forgot that was the first time that I watched them. So that was also a huge event. So that's why we're trying to get it back to the Netherlands.
It'd be cool to see it back. Yeah, I'm excited to go to Adelaide this year though.
Yeah. And the Europeans last year. Sorry. And we had the Europeans last year in the Netherlands. I'm like, what am I missing? But sorry, you were saying?
Have you played in Australia? I guess.
Australia, not yet.
You didn't play Turkey?
No, we didn't play. No, we were planning to go to. I don't actually know which one it was. Just the weekend that COVID broke and that we said we're gonna cancel. March 2020.
Shepparton, maybe.
It was on the Gold Coast on the right side. Was it Sydney? I don't know. It was on the Gold Coast.
One of them got cancelled.
Yeah.
Man, Nick.
Dirk and I were in Malaysia. In Langkawi playing that tournament. We got a 5th place there, I think, or a 9th. And we were planning actually to fly that Tuesday. And then on that Sunday they called us, hey, Schiphol Airport, Amsterdam is closing, so you got to come back. We're like, what if we don't come back? Well, you cannot enter the country for like a month. And we're like, is it bad if we go to Australia and stay there for a month and then just kind of gamble that we stay there just for a month, even though we don't play a tournament, because we got the tickets. Yeah. And then they said, yeah, but what if something happens with family members, whatsoever, you cannot come back. And we're like, oh yeah, shoot, okay, no. It's just volleyball, let's go back. And actually in that period, everything kind of changed for me, because from the moment that we want to go to Australia, I split up with Dirk and continue with Yorick. So it was like a weird twist, but no, I've never been to Australia.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to Adelaide. Australia's awesome.
Yeah, but it's gonna be an indoor tournament, or it's the center court, I think, or I read somewhere it's indoor. It's an indoor facility. For real? Yeah. That's and I talked with Connie Court yesterday in taxi, and she also said like at least one of the courts is indoor. Okay. But in Mexico we had the same. We had Huamantla inside and Apizaco.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about that.
Apizaco and Tlaxcala outside. Yeah. So I don't know the vibes in Australia and the height difference. I think Adelaide is close to the sea, so it will probably not be like a Gstaad, like
it won't be altitude-y.
No, so we'll see. But I think at least one of the courts will be inside. So I'm curious because I have no idea what the temperature will be like or anything. I've never been there, so
I think that's like when Australia's summer. I think is November.
Should be, yeah. Should be just the other way around.
Then, bring a surfboard. Do you surf? Probably
Never
not.
done it. No, I always joke about like my body is my surfboard. I'm 2 meters tall. Like I just lay flat. And no, I never done it. I tried a bit in Rio de Janeiro. Isaac Carragher and Mark Nicolaitis. We had a training session with them, and he was like body surfing. And he was like, these ways, like if you don't do it, don't do it. And then he kind of not crashed, but he fell, and he had like a little bit of a scratch because he touched the sand. And he was like, "Fuck! Don't tell my coach. Don't let him see this." It's like, so coach, if you're watching, no, but yeah, he was explaining me, and then he was talking about the waves there. He was like, "These waves, no, they're cute." And I was like, "These waves are already like double my size.
Yeah.
Like I don't even want to go in further because I don't know what to do." Right. And he was like, "Australia, oh no, man, they're like." Up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But
I'm excited for you to get to
maybe a bit
Australia.
of swimming, but
Sweet.
Yeah, I really want to go there. So I want to say hope that we will qualify, but I think with the results that we have now, and probably will make a few decent ones in the next few tournaments, we will qualify. But yeah, no injuries. Then we will probably be fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Knock on wood. Yeah, but no, I really hope to go there and finish off this long season. Because we started in March already. Yeah. Long season in November in Australia, on the other side of the world, literally.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like a long season, but you get a lot of breaks.
Yeah.
Because like you play Ostrava, month off.
Yeah.
Go to Stad, and then month off, and you go to Montreal.
On the Beach Pro Tour. So we have the King of the Court tournament. We got national tournaments. There are some challengers for other teams to play, but for us, if we prioritize only the elite events, then it's 3 to 4 weeks off. Next tournament, 3 to 4 weeks, and so on. So in terms of kind of having some time off and then build up again, it's nice. But you would also say like now the Brazil and Mexico tournaments, like 2 or 3 in a row, and then have a longer break is also nice because you can like really build up to that level. Play a lot of volleyball in a short amount of time and then have a break again. Yeah. But it's also personal. Like everybody, maybe I like the format that it's now, but Yorick likes it the other way around. So it's go. And then for everybody in tour, like you can never satisfy everybody, but at least as we have like around 10 elite tournaments to play on, and then we have the world champs. I think we have a good calendar. We go to a lot of different places around the world. So I definitely cannot complain with how things are going. Yeah.
This place is awesome. I've never been to Ostrava before. No. Man, it's so cool. That's one of the coolest venues. It's the coolest venue I've ever seen.
It has a story. The factory and everything.
Yeah, like Stad, you walk there and it's just breathtaking beauty everywhere. Yeah. And you go, like I think that the foundation of beach volleyball should be events on the beach. And it's like 70% of the tour probably on the beach, but then you go to a place like this, you're like, that's cool. It's really cool. Yeah. Is it 70? Is it not the other way around in the meanwhile? Thinking of the tournaments that we have? I know they're focusing on trying to get more into the city. On natural beaches. Oh yeah. So like Rio, they brought back. João Pessoa is a real beach. I think Mexico. Where'd you guys play? Quintana Roo? It was Quintana Roo. We didn't play, but it was Quintana Roo. Yeah. Yeah. But then thinking of like the Saquarema, the Brasilia, Ostrava, Gstaad, the Hamburg. Those are all like kind of somewhere in the city, which I also like. So I'm not a pro. I want to be at the beach and super windy and everything. Like I enjoy these circumstances more. I think whenever you can utilize a place's natural beauty, like here they're using it. Like it's a different kind of beauty that you would think, but like Stad is obviously it's stunning. Yeah. It is. And then you go to all those little places. Like Hamburg is pretty cool as well. Yeah, so in the Rotenbaum Stadium. Yeah. And it's in a nice suburb which is there. So a lot of places were really nice. Vienna, like in the city center with the people around. But before that, the Danube Island. You had the Klagenfurt back in the days, of course, there. Yeah. Then Mexico and Brazil now actually having the same cities kind of over and over. Mexico, we have different kind of cities. So you travel kind of everywhere throughout Mexico. But yeah, it's... Doha is coming back every year, so we have like kind of the Middle East a bit. Australia now with the World Champs. Cape Town? You ever been? Yes, in 2022 with Matthew. When Yorick got his injury, I went there with Matthew. Got it. But then I broke my ankle, so I played one match with apparently a fracture in my ankle, which was bad. But so we played one match, we lost, and obviously we lost. But that was my Cape Town adventure. Oh, but it was the environment. We did a little road trip there by a car, actually with Quigo and Shermorn, the Americans. Oh, sweet. We hopped in a van and we had a private cab driver bringing us around a little bit. So we had, even though my foot was in bad condition, we had a good memory in terms of sightseeing and everything. Yeah. Pretty place. Yeah. Pretty place. You see the penguins? Yeah. Boulders Beach. Yeah, Boulder Beach. Yeah. Been there. Yeah. So. Good memories to go back and hopefully play some better volleyball than back then. But
Yeah, it's no. Like I already said, like I'm really lucky to live this life, and I want to enjoy as much as I can. And being in tournaments where there are a lot of people cheering on, bringing the sports to the fans, literally, trying to be a good ambassador for the sports, using my social media kind of as good as I can.
Yeah.
It's making my money with the sports now, some sponsorships and the prize money because of the good results that we have now. Like I'm living quite a good life now.
Yeah, I think that's a good note to end it on. I know we got dinner coming up soon, and you got a shower, and you got tournament to play
tomorrow. But, so we got to prepare.
If your goal is to be a great ambassador to Sport Boom Boom, I think you do a fantastic job of it.
Thanks.
Always one of my favorite people to run into, traveling around in these Elite 16s. And I loved in Doha when we were doing the fantasy beach volleyball, and you got some aces for me. That's 5 points,
5
baby.
points. Yeah, that was a set point, right? It was set point ace.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew that you were counting on me to score some ace. So I was like, yeah,
you're the points leader, man.
Yeah,
first round draft pick.
Yeah. And my dad wanted to meet you because you're always so nice on the
Does he
mic.
travel? What tournaments does he come
it was in
to?
Utrecht actually. I think in one of the Netherlands. Was it at the King of the Court 1 year, 2 years ago? There was one tournament I think in the Netherlands. I was like, hey, my dad he wants to meet you, and you guys. I just said, hey, this is Travis and this is Kyle. Like they're doing the commentary. And I was like, yeah. I think it was.
Well, I've never been to a King of the Court. I need to.
It was somewhere else. Or maybe at the Europeans. No, the Europeans obviously not. Hamburg maybe. It was one of the tournaments. Yeah, one of Hamburg maybe then.
Okay.
Yeah, it was somewhere close by because he outside of the Netherlands he mostly doesn't come, but he watches everything.
Okay.
And he's like, you will also watch this definitely, so he'll be stoked. But I remember I was like, Dad, this is the guy who always talks so nice about me. He was like, oh yeah, this and that. So,
yeah, we make it easy, man.
It.
It's you make it real easy.
Thanks.
Stefan, I appreciate you.
Of course.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
And I'll be saying kind words about you on the mic.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.